Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shauna from Created and Made, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make some very cute, very quick ephemera using, wait for it, temporary tattoos. That's what I have here. I have a stack of black line temporary tattoos. I also have some other ones that I just happen to have in my stash already that are colorful butterflies, but I'm gonna mostly be working with these black and white ones. And the way you can use these is like you would a rub-on, only you apply it a little bit differently, which I'm going to show you. But this particular set, I don't know, less than $10, maybe $7 on Amazon, had 60 different images and also sentiments. So you can use these, cut these out and use them on your tags, your art journals. The way I'm going to be showing you how to use them today is just as a setup to make ephemera. Now this is a tag I did for the Ugly Art Club's 5-minute challenge. If you're on Instagram, you can check me out over there, Created and Made Studios. That's where I post a lot of my challenge artwork, like the gel printing challenge or the art club challenge, etc. You can add me there. But I did this for that challenge, and this continuous line that was the prompt flower was came in a temporary tattoo set, and all I did was apply it to a piece of deli paper, I think this is, and I ripped it out and I glued it in the middle, and it ended up being a very cute focal point. So I'm just going to show you guys really quickly how to do that and how you can use them in one tag that I'm going to put together for you. So a really quick way to use these is to pick out, if you have gel print leftovers, things that ended up not working out and it's not a real print, like this wasn't a real print, I think this might have been a pickup page or something. You can take that, and if you apply a temporary tattoo over the top, you can just create a piece of ephemera. Now because this uses water, I'm not sure how well this is going to work. You have to be mindful of what sort of material you use to make the background. If it will re-wet with water, then you may not want to use it. I'm not sure what this is. It might be paint, I'm not sure. We're gonna try it because I like this how it has like an empty space here. It looks perfect for a piece of ephemera. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to transfer this temporary tattoo onto this piece of painted paper. So the thing you want to do, and with this set actually it has all the instructions on the back of every card, which is very nice because if you get rid of the packaging, which I always do, you can still remember how to use these. Now you're just going to peel off the plastic paper, the plastic covering. You're going to put it face down where you want it to be, and then you're just going to, I have a paintbrush and a little bit of water here. So you're going to take the water, you're going to wet the back of the tattoo thoroughly. Like you want to just kind of drench it. Soak it up. And you will see where, where you need more water. That'll be clear. And this is why, because you're using so much water, this is why you want to make sure whatever you're working on top of can actually accept water. And now that I'm looking at this, I really do think that this is acrylic paint in the background. So once it's all soaking wet, you can just slide. Some of them will slide. This one doesn't seem to want to slide. You can just peel, I guess. This one peels, yeah. You can just peel it up, and there you have your really easy, super fast, super quick ephemera that you can now tear out and use on a tag, in an art journal, etc. Now if you want, because this does have a tiny bit of gloss to it, you can always matte gel medium over the top. That's actually a good way to seal it, and then it'll kind of knock back some of that shine if you don't like that. And so that's a real quick and easy way to do that. Now here's another piece of background. You can also make really easy and quick sentiments using this same method. Now this particular set came, like I said, came with a lot of different sentiments, and as you'll notice, the words are backwards because you're going to be transferring them, so they need to be in reverse. So you can always just snip off whatever it is that you want to use and transfer it to whatever surface you're wanting to use. Okay, I grabbed my scissors and I actually want to use this piece right here that says C'est la vie. There's two of them, so I'm just going to cut one of them off. Put the other one aside for later use. And actually my plastic paper just came off just then because my scissors have some adhesive on them, but that's okay. I actually want this to be on this piece of gold here on this paper, so I'm just going to flip it over. I can kind of see where the lettering is. Press it down and do the same thing I did before. I just want to soak the back of it with water, and I know that this is an acrylic piece. This piece has acrylic paint, I should say. Soak the back with the water. I like to give it a little rub to make sure everything's all spread out and everything has gotten that water on it. I don't know if that's necessary. I just like to do it. And when you pull this up, you will see that the writing that was backwards is now forward. It's now facing the right direction. And so I'm going to end up cutting this out or ripping it out, I'm not sure, and using it to put together a tag that I'm going to show you in a bit. So you want to put this aside, let it dry. It's still a little wet. You can put a finish over it if you want to, but I'm just going to let it air dry for now. Now finally, I want to show you a focal piece that I'm going to be putting onto this tag as well. It is from the same set. It is just a different floral arrangement. I think the plastic piece has already been pulled off, I guess. Now this is a piece of handmade paper. It has a lot of texture on the front, so I'm going to be using the back. I'm not sure how well this would apply to something that is super textured, but we will see how well this does against something that has a bit of texture. The back has some texture. Now it's a little cut off there at the bottom. That doesn't bother me, it's fine. And so I'm just going to get my water, soak this up, get it all soaked, I should say. And you can see the design sort of appear on the back, so you'll know when you've thoroughly wet the whole design. Give it a little mash, and let's see how well this does on this handmade paper. I am finding out with all of you. I'm not sure if this is going to work. Oh, it did okay. There's some pieces here that need to be pressed down, but you know what? We can do that with our matte gel medium, or we can just leave it as is. You can touch it with your finger gently, because it will pull up if you're a little too rough with it. But that ended up working really well. So you can see you have this beautiful piece of floral ephemera on your handmade paper, and you can just take this right into a spread or on a tag or however you want to use that. Okay, so I ended up making a second one of these because the one I made on camera that you guys saw, I cut it out and it ended up looking like this. And I just didn't like the way that looked. There was too much green in it for what I wanted, and I just didn't like the cut off edges. I should have ripped it, but after I cut it that small, I couldn't rip it anymore. So I just transferred this actually onto a piece of canvas paper, and it transferred really well. There was no issue with the texture of the canvas, and this particular canvas paper is pretty easy to rip, so you can just transfer your image and then rip it right out. And so I am just putting together a small spread that's actually for, what's this one for? It's for a challenge. I think it is the final day of the Ugly Art Club challenge. I'm really behind. I think the final day was like 3 or 4 days ago. I'm not sure. But I have this piece of gauzy stuff. I'm actually going to be doing a video soon, I think, about how I create these little textural gauze pieces. So I'm taking my white glue. This is reptile glue because it dries clear, and so I know it'll work well with my gauze here. And I just glued that down, and this was actually, the background was actually just a failed gel print. Again, I ripped the edges off of it so that it will fit in the little journal I'm going to put it into, and it's a little uneven, but that's fine for me. I don't care about that. And so now we have our layers that I'm going to put together. This is just a piece of a ripped gel, not a gel print, a die cut. I'm just going to place my temporary tattoo just so I can see where this is going to go, because it is going to be the second thing to be glued down, and I need to know where to glue it. So I'm just going to be gluing it at an angle here like that. And I want the flowers to cover the bottom part of this. So I'm pull this away, and I'm just going to glue this right where it is. Now this is pretty fussy because it's very narrow, but this glue catches really well. So once you get a little glue down, once you touch it, it's gonna be stuck down. I don't bother gluing any of the little itty bitty parts, not in spreads like this. I don't. So once you have that down, the next layer that I was going to do is actually some of this white twine. This is polyester twine. I use it in a lot of my tag designs. It's just a really easy textural element. It can be a little bit fussy, you know, it wants to go everywhere and do everything, but you just gotta get it. I actually don't think that this is enough. I'm gonna get a little bit more. Okay, while I was getting some more twine, I ended up deciding to just colorize a little bit of it. And all I did was use the same color acrylic paint that I used on here, even though it does look a little different, whatever, different substrates, to paint the twine. It's really easy to do. But so now I have my little pile, and sometimes it can be a little bit fussy to sort of get this where you want it, but it's once you get it there, it's kind of easy to keep it there. I just like to put a pile of glue, no real rhyme or reason to it. I might also staple it some, but that might not be necessary since we're putting something over the top of it, and just stick it down. I don't want too much of it hanging out, but it does have a mind of its own sometimes, which is fun. It can be fun. Sometimes it just can be annoying, but you know, I want some of the gold to show a little bit more. And just play with it till it looks like what you want it to look like. You can always sort of refluff it if it's not working for you. And while the glue is wet, you can always just pull it off altogether. I mean, there's nothing that says it has to stay in the original place you had it. But I think I'm good with that. Now, will it stay where it is? Who knows? But I'm just going to get some glue down on the back of my handmade paper here. I'm not covering the whole thing. I don't care whether it lays flat. I just really want to focus on the center because that's where all the string is located, and sort of get that stuck down where I want it to be. Before I give it a mash, I want to make sure my string is behaving. Now I'm just going to put something down on top of this for a little bit to get it nice and pressed down. Be right back. Okay, everything's all kind of flattened out and stuck down, and now I'm just going to add my sentiment that has the temporary tattoo over the top. I wanted to staple it down because I just like the way that looks, but this stapler isn't long enough to reach all the way, so I'm actually just going to add a faux staple here. Like I said, I like the way the staple looks. It adds a tiny bit of additional texture, even though it's not being functional. I still like the way that it looks. So I'm just going to take my glue and stick this down in one place here as soon as I unclog my glue nozzle. Okay, I can't seem to keep up with the tops of my glue. That's why it's always clogged, because it dries out. So I got my glue. I'm just going to stick this C'est La Vie down in one place. I don't think it needs to be attached the whole way. And there you have a beautiful sort of journal spread, tag, whatever you want to call this. This is going to get stapled or adhered into a journal. I just like to work in pieces like this so I can stick them wherever I want, in whatever journal I want them to go into. And it's easier to demonstrate techniques like I did here with the temporary tattoos. Now, before I go, I wanted to show you some other tattoos that you can find on the market. I'll link these in the description below, along with the set I've been talking about this whole time, which is this 60-piece set here. This is just one of my play journals, journals I like to do techniques in, and this is a temporary tattoo. As you can see, it has some shadowing. The shadowing's a little weird looking at it, but it does add some dimension to the page. If you want to add a butterfly, the butterflies that I have all have some shadowing. Not all of them have shadowing on both sides like that, but here's another set. Like here, the shadowing on these is a little bit better. You can see how those just kind of blend right into the background. They were easy to adhere, and I think on this one I actually did put matte gel medium over the top. I don't know if you can really tell. They barely have any sort of gloss to them. You can't really tell that they were temporary tattoos at all. So I just wanted to show you guys a different iteration, not just the black and white ones. They have color. They have like ones that are meant to be like full sleeve tattoos. Like they have all kind of tattoos out there. And so that brings me to why even do this, right? Why do it is because you might look at it and like it. And that's enough for a reason. You might look at it and be inspired by one of the designs. You might look at it and say, hey, that's really cute. I want to put it in my journal. And to me, that's reason enough to do it. It's just another weapon in your creative arsenal, another way to get your creative juices flowing. So I hope you guys liked this video. And if you did, please go ahead and leave a like. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I hope to see you guys next time. And in the meantime, keep creating and making. Bye-bye.